I'm sitting here thinking right now, how many Cindy's do we know?
Wow.
I got one in mind.
I think we all know the same one.
Well, if we were in Odessa, Texas, or something like that, we might know some more Cindy's.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike's
How many
most likely to know more Cindy's.
Yeah.
than
How many Marias do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, so, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it like that.
Josephina's. Mike don't know no Josephina's growing up.
Yeah.
My grandma's name. You win. Okay. Hey, welcome to Not Offended Podcast. It's your boy Anthony Conservative Chicano. Sit with my guys right here. Got the token and I got the bishop. I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in last week. It was a hard podcast to shoot. Shout out to people watching from Georgia, Texas. They chimed in where they were watching from. We do appreciate everybody. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. We're going to have a lot to comment on this week. We're going to take almost exclusively this whole time and talk about the Robert Morris situation, what's going on with Gateway Church. There's a lot going on. A lot of stuff has unfolded even in the last week since we last talked. We got people who are backing away from them. We got other people who won't call it out. It's really a mixed bag right here, but we're going to talk about it. So this might be the one you need to share with friends. We've got a lot of clips. We've got Cindy Clemenshire in her own words through a video clip we found. So we got a lot going on. We're going to X-nay some of the stuff that we normally do. I do want to get to a comment that somebody left. It was about Father's Day. So don't forget to like, comment, and share. And if you do comment, we probably we'll look through the comments and we might just choose yours. And shout out where you're watching from. We'd appreciate it, okay? You can find us on all the platforms. You know where to find us, okay? So they were talking about Father's Day, and as you know, we did talk about Father's Day. We talked about a little bit of a discrepancy in Mother's Day and Father's Day. They said, I agree with you, Pastor, about Father's Day. I'm going to try that over. Okay, here we go. Says, I agree with you, Pastor, about Father's Day. Dads that are doing their dad duties should be honored by the wife and kids. I appreciate that. I don't know who you are, Leave Me Be, but thank you for that. That's the call signal. That's the handle, Leave Me Be. Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay, because you're laughing.
It's
like,
him.
Let her be, though.
Let her be. Yeah, let her be.
Yeah.
Let him or her be. Okay. But I do agree with that. We definitely do need to honor the dads. I don't know. Did you hear anything, any backlash from our dad segments? I mean,
I just had an idea.
Oh, give me the idea. Yeah, let's go.
I think for Father's Day, we should make it a national holiday where it's a federally recognized holiday and you don't have to go to work.
I like that one. It's always on a Sunday,
so
you
make
get the Monday
it
off?
so you make it a Monday.
I'm in.
And And the dads get the Monday off from going to work. That's a good way for everybody to say Happy Father's Day.
I'll take that. What do you think about that one?
You'll give us a day off or what?
Yeah. Well, I'll take the day off.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. I like. Okay. Hey, you know what? Let's vote on that. All in favor? Aye.
Yeah.
All right.
Would you rather have barbecue tool set or would you rather get the day off?
I like me a day off. That's what I like. No dad duties. That's good. I'm signing me up. All in favor right here. Let's go. So I was thinking about, I rewatched our clip about the Father's Day, and I don't take back anything I said. I felt it was very concise. I did think that we don't talk about it enough. I think we touched on it a little bit, and we should have touched on it more. We don't talk about this enough. I think you brought it up, and you said that the men desire respect. And with that respect, women desire to be loved, men desire to be respected. And lo and behold, just in, I always gather the information for the podcast. Matthew Stafford's wife he's an NFL quarterback for the Rams, I believe. He was with the Lions. She does a podcast, and on there, she talks about how her and Matthew were dating in college, and she wanted to get him jealous. And this is her own words. So he was roommates with another quarterback. And so what did she do? She started dating that quarterback and slept with them and got Matthew jealous. She tells us on a syndicated podcast. And I don't know her, but I have a hard time believing that Matthew felt respected in that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I overthinking that, or... Now, I'm not saying anything bad about her, but I just think that's a little too much information. I don't know. Am I too sensitive?
Wait, so they weren't together yet?
She said they were off and on.
Oh. Wow.
She said she wanted to get him jealous.
So they're already together.
Or like get back at him or get him jealous, get him fired up.
And she slept with his friend.
Roommate.
I don't know about.
Roommate.
I think the sleeping is like you insinuate it, but yeah, it sounds like yeah.
And he still got with
She
her?
said so. She said like all the athletes are in the same dorm,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And that she started dating this backup quarterback, and Stafford knew that she was dating the backup quarterback, and she would like leave her car parked at the dorm, so that Matthew Stafford knew when she was there. But why come out with it now?
But why on a podcast for everybody to listen to so you can get clipped and people?
So the podcast host was saying, like, what was the purpose of bringing that out now? Like, you got 4 kids together. This is like years later. Like, maybe he's got a weird sense of humor, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's funny." I mean, he's a quarterback. He's a football dude. You know, maybe he's been.
Do you find that funny?
No, but I'm also not a football dude. So
do you find that funny?
Why'd he get with her?
Because he's a football dude.
Like, why would you get back with her in the first place? Like, you made a mistake a long time ago. This is what you chose. You signed up for this.
2 wrongs don't make a right.
You signed up for it.
No, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
No, you get rid of her. Like, instead of getting jealous, like, I'm done with you.
Okay, I have a question though. Okay, in what universe, in what dimension, is he not going to get made fun of?
But okay, back
No,
then,
I'm just asking what dimension or what universe is he not going to get made fun of?
But
you know he's going to get clowned. You know some D tackle is going to sack him.
Oh yeah, like every other his opponents.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
What some defensive end, some outside backer is going to sack him and be like, "Oh, your girl, huh?" You know he's going to hear it.
But that had to happen in college too, and he obviously, like Mike's saying, he had to be okay with it. Maybe he has this weird sense of humor.
If locker rooms are vicious.
That's what I'm saying. In college,
Okay.
you're with this girl. She breaks up.
You're
Now
right.
she's sleeping with the backup quarterback.
Yeah, people know.
Everyone's on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. How do you get back with her?
Okay, so my question goes back to, I don't understand the motive behind that story, and I don't understand how he's going to feel respected. I think there's a huge chasm there, because just tell me if I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, leave it in the comments. Had that been role reversal, and he's over there bragging on a podcast, and she finds out, and her girls find out, what are they all going to say about him? What are they going to say?
He's a dog.
Oh, he's such a jerk. I can't believe it. Am I wrong? They're going to go in on him?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a clip. It is along this lines. I want to show you this clip, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. This is pertaining to men, Father's Day men, and what's going on. I thought this person brought out a very good perspective. So I just want you guys to watch it and tell me what you think. Watch this.
When a man wants to get married, he's only getting married truly for one reason. Because let me be honest with you women, the men can work and provide for themselves. He does not necessarily need you to cook, clean, and have sex, because he can get sex from multiple women. They're giving it out. A lot of them can cook and clean. Their mother taught them, or they can pay someone to get it. So why would a man go past what the culture is telling him and choose to have a wife? It's for one real simple reason. Because with a wife, you can now have love, you can have support, you can have affection. So if that is not what you're leading with in your relationships with men, is love, support, nurturing, and respect, this is why your husband is now pulling away, because in the beginning you gave him those things. But as you got into the relationship, you got bitter, you got resentful, you start seeing his flaws, start counting that against him, you start measuring him against other men, and now you're pulling back on the love, the affection, and the nurturing.
Mic drop on that one. What'd you think of that video? What'd you think?
You know, the roles that we have, we talk to a lot of people, and we talk to a lot of people who are in, healthy marriages, and then unfortunately a lot of people who are in unhealthy marriages. And I would say that what she's saying is 110% facts.
Which part really stood out to you on that?
One of the things that stuck out was how when you guys got together, he was getting the love, the respect, the affection, the nurturing, but then over time, the thrill is gone.
Ooh, play that in the background.
And
thrill is gone.
and then thus you are where you are today, where there's this chasm in your guys' relationship. There's this separation. And now, not to say that he didn't do things to cause resentment. He didn't do things to cause pain. Like, I'm not going to say that he didn't, but those are the types of things that come into play over time. And then you no longer have the love, the affection, the nurturing, and things like that.
What'd you think of that clip, Bishop? What'd you think?
It was good.
No, I mean, is there anything that stood out to you that you disagreed or agreed with?
No, I didn't disagree with anything. I think she said it well, and yeah, I agree. I mean, that's what your husband's looking for. I mean, I think every man wants to be in a relationship where he can find that support, and that love. I mean, I think the biggest thing I know, no matter what I do, whatever mistakes I make, I know I have a wife that's there to support me, and I know I always have that. Like everyone else, you guys can leave me. I know my wife's going to be there, and she'll be able to back me up, and that gets you so much security to know you have that person there with you.
What did you guys think about the part where she said when you first got with him, you know, you overlooked those flaws, and then now you're bitter about it? What did you guys think about that part? I thought that was interesting. I've often said that to people. Hey, you finding that cute now that, you know, he's forgetful and you kind of feel like he needs you because you help him to remember things. 10 years from now, you're going to be angry about that. You're going to be pretty pissed off about it. And so I've always found that to be true. But I don't know, how'd you guys hear? That's how I heard it, because I've done that counseling before, and these people thought it was real cute. Now it ain't no cute no more. You know what I mean? Like, but what'd you think about that bitterness of the flaws?
I mean, I definitely have had conversations with people, and they have said it without saying it, but essentially, like, I recognize these things about this person I'm getting ready to marry, but I believe that I can change him.
Oh, the good old "I could change him" speech right there. Yeah.
And so they'll say it, or they blatantly, or they won't say it blatantly, but they believe that there's potential inside of you, but I don't really like the you now, but I believe I can bring out the best in you, and I can have that for later. And oftentimes, they don't change.
What about you? What'd you think about that? Because I know you've talked to married couples as well, and there's certain things, like, I know you probably heard him say, like, "Oh, that's just so cute the way he does that," and you're thinking 5 years from now that ain't gonna be cute.
So does a spouse have to be perfect though?
What do you mean? Go ahead. Elaborate.
So I mean, everyone's gonna have some type of flaws, right?
Yeah.
And so if you communicate that, hey, you're looking for someone without flaws, you're never gonna find anyone. There's always gonna be flaws at the beginning. I mean, there's always gonna be flaws you can see at the beginning, but you have to choose them. I'm okay with this.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Right, but I think what people say sometimes is, I'm not okay with this.
Oh, okay.
Right, I'm not okay with this, but I believe I can change that.
Yeah.
I see that a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's where it gets dicey, gets into trouble
Because they don't change.
Well, I think overall, she brought out some valid points, and I think it's to understand, like, basically that once again there's that innate desire for a man to be respected and to be honored. So just something to chew on, since we were going off the whole Father's Day thing. I just wanted to talk about that for a moment. Okay, let's get down to it. So after, I believe it was either 10 or 12 days, a little over a week, Gateway finally came out with a statement. So I'm going to read it in its entirety. It's not too long, but it is a little bit of reading here. And we're going to start to hash this out. I have changed my stance. I'm definitely a lot harsher now. I don't think Robert Moore should have ever been allowed back into a pulpit, ever. And I don't think he should have had the honor of quitting or resigning. I think they should have fired him. The stories don't match up. The things that he told people, the cover up, all of this stinks to high heavens. And I'm awfully upset that other pastors are not coming out and saying, listen, he can be restored as an individual unto salvation. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. But you should have never been restored unto a pulpit, period. Ever. And I think people owe some people an apology. And I think my heart goes out to Cindy. My heart does not go out to Robert. I have no problem saying that. I pray for you in the sense that you get your heart right with Jesus. But my heart goes out to the victim who's had to live in her victimization, while this brother does real good. I don't know how much he's worth, but he ain't poor and he ain't living bad. That's all I got to say. You know, I mean, I don't know. Y'all gonna see some fire in my eyes. Here's Gateway Church.
When was this? This statement right here?
This came out. What was that? Friday or Saturday? I'd have to look. So Friday. I knew Friday. Dear Gateway Church family, the Board of Elders wants to reach out to you personally to address the recent events in your church, in our church, and provide you with some updates. This is an unthinkable and painful time in our church. Our church congregation is hurt and shaken, and we know that you have many important questions. We want to answer as many of your questions as we can at this point. And we ask you to continue to extend us the grace as we navigate through the most challenging time in Gateway's history. The details that have more recently come to light are deeply disturbing. We continue to pray that God will bring peace, comfort, and healing. Everyone has been affected. We know you are grieving just as we are. We know that so many of you have been impacted and affected. We are here for you. We are praying for you, and we love you. The Board of Elders has taken a serious steps that we want to update you on. First, the Board of Elders called a special meeting and accepted the resignation of our senior pastor, Robert Morris, this past week. Gateway Church is committed to protecting people, first and foremost, children and the most vulnerable. Abuse simply cannot be tolerated. We believe that God created every man and woman equally in his image and that every single person should be treated with respect. God has called us to be known by our love for one another. Second, the Board of Elders has retained a law firm, Haynes & Boone, to conduct a thorough and independent inquiry so that the facts can be understood. Even though this abuse occurred many years ago before Gateway's establishment, the elders are committed to finding the truth and holding people accountable. Regrettably, prior to Friday, June 14th of 2024, the current elders did not have all the facts. The Board of Elders is deeply committed to walking in integrity and finding the truth. By the way, I actually believe that, the current Board of Elders, and I'll explain that later. Having this inquiry done by an independent and unbiased outside law firm is best practice. The review has begun, and the Board of Elders pledges full cooperation. We are truly heartbroken by what has come to light over the past few days, and we again express our deep sympathy to the victim and her family. We understood that many are hurting, and we are so very sorry. It is our heartfelt prayer that in time healing for all those affected can occur. We also know that the past few days has been extremely difficult for many of you and that there's deep hurt and pain being experienced. We know processing and healing are going to take time. Through it all, please know that we deeply love our Gateway congregation, and our desire is to grieve with you and walk through this season with you. We are grateful for how God has used Gateway to minister to so many people over the decades. Countless people have seen marriages restored, hearts healed, discipleship occur. We are humbled by what God has done through our church members and staff. While we are deeply saddened by the situation, we are committed to help bring healing and restoration to everyone affected. We have a long legacy of providing ministry and hope for so many. It is our prayer and belief that the legacy will continue even in greater ways in days to come. Our heart remains the same, to see people saved, healed, set free, discipled, equipped, empowered, and serving. We remain steadfast in the mission and vision, set our eyes on Jesus, and walk forward in faithfulness. The elders have asked Joachim Lundquist to come preach this weekend at Gateway Church. He's a global leader and will be preaching to our church family and offering us an important message for this unthinkable time. In the next few weeks, we'll have special guest leaders minister to our congregation. We are grateful to the global faith community, which has shown us much support during this painful time. Please be praying for those affected, including Cindy Clemenshire, her family, the Morris family, Gateway members and staff, and others. Pray that God will heal the brokenhearted as he promises to do so in Psalms 147:3. Be comforted by God's promise that he will never leave us nor forsake us. Keep loving God and his people. Remember that God brings beauty from ashes. He loves Gateway Church, and he will get us through. He will get us through. He is the God of redemption and restoration. We know God is on his throne, even when it seems all around us is shaking. He is our firm foundation, and we are standing firmly on the foundation in the days and weeks to come. We know that he loves and cares for every one of you, and we as elders love and care for you as well. Our hope is in the Lord. Our hope in the Lord remains steadfast, and we encourage you to continue looking to him as the source of hope and strength. May God bless and comfort our church family during this time. Sincerely, Gateway Board of Elders. Okay, first thoughts on that letter. Anybody have any thoughts on that letter?
Lots of thoughts. I don't know. I'm just trying to think, like, how do you, so because there's so much time that lapsed between the incident or the years of incidents that took place and then now, you had mentioned You believe that the board of elders now may not have known
Current board.
any of what had taken place in the past, and so it just makes me think like they're also trying to move forward. Like, do you just shut your church down? So like, how are they moving forward? That's kind of how I was reading it. It's like,
Okay.
I don't know.
Your thoughts on that letter?
Yeah, they're just trying to figure out how to move forward.
Okay, I have a question for you. Should any person with the last name Morris be in charge of that church from here on out?
Probably not. No.
You just don't know what other people knew, so you can't give anybody with that last name leadership at that church.
I'm with you guys. It's a no. You can go do it. The two boys.
I mean, it's unfortunate. They may not know anything.
It's completely unfortunate, but all three of them, they're gonna have to do that somewhere else. Or else, how are you really gonna move forward?
You can't.
You can't move forward. Can we all be reasonable? If this was any other church, this wouldn't even be. This is a no-brainer. It's a no question right here. So that's all I'm saying. You can't. You can't do it. Here's the only part I didn't like about the letter. He said, "I know you guys have a lot of questions. We're gonna give you some answers." I didn't get no answers. Did you get any answers? I didn't get no answers. I got zero answers.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe if somebody had a question of like, what are we going to do moving
I
forward?
can tell you the questions everybody was already asking. Which elders did know? There's no answers. There's answers. There's answers out there because they're being blasted everywhere. Okay, what exactly did Robert tell people? There's an answer for that. There are answers. And you said you was going to give us answers. You didn't give us no answers. Question, why did you let him resign instead of firing him? Resign is with dignity. Fired is means, hey, you should have never done that. Bro, I could give you a list of questions, and I'm telling you, they didn't scratch any itches right there. That was all, this is going to be okay, beauty from ashes. It's not okay.
Yeah, and
it's not okay.
They're trying to. Are we gonna just let the ship sink, or are we gonna try to patch it?
I'm not saying you don't. Hey, you first acknowledge, hey, yo, we hit an iceberg. We got a huge hole. The guy who was supposed to be looking out failed. So we're going to admit that. We're going to call it for what it is. We're going to get a hold of Cindy. Ask Cindy, how can we best help you right now? What do you need, Cindy? We are so sorry. It's called restitution. Every time you saw it in the Bible, Zacchaeus, all these people, they were always giving back, saying, if I've done any wrong, here's what I got. Here's my perfume to lay at Jesus' feet. We always see this restitution. You ain't seen nothing. What are we doing here?
You think it might come? I mean, with the law firm who's looking into investigating this, you think it'll come after that?
I hope so.
Is it too late?
It's never too late. Brother, she's still serving the Lord. Yeah. She's still serving.
Pretty crazy.
I can't believe it. Even in the interview, we're going to play the interview in a minute.
She says she forgives him. She said, me and my family
Yeah. But I'm just saying the restitution. You think that there's times where it's not too late?
Very seldom, because you can make it up to the kids, to the family, to those who had to.
Are you really saying sorry, or are you just, you guys slapped on the wrist and that's why you give me some money?
I say I agree with Pastor. I don't know if these people. So what was Shady Grove, or what was it called?
Shady Grove.
Is that the name?
Yeah,
Okay.
by the way, hey, yo.
I feel like I'm saying it wrong. That's what.
Hey, all I got to say is your name's Shady Grove. You might want to change that to Cover Me or something. You have to get some. Maybe we're too much from the hood. Shady just sounds shady.
But those were the original elders, right?
Correct.
Before even Gateway was established, if I'm correct.
There was a merger. Shady Grove became Gateway. That's how that happened.
Okay.
But it doesn't. See, here's my thing. I don't listen. Thank you for the letter. I just don't feel like you answered that many questions. It was a nice kumbaya letter. Let's just get this out there right now. We've hired this law firm. Okay, yo, you could start. You asked. We could start with what we do know, and I'm gonna tell you somebody who knows what really happened. Robert Morris. How are you supposed to have any integrity or character, or anything right now? That's all. You could come out and just tell the real story.
Can he go to jail for this?
There's a statute of limitations in Oklahoma, but that's why it's a civil suit. No statute of limitations on a civil suit.
Is there a limit on financials on a civil suit like this?
I'd have to look into Oklahoma. I don't know.
I'm just trying to think of why would you not why would you not come out?
Well, think about it. She
already lost everything.
She's not going after them.
No, but his his counsel might be saying, hey,
well, I'm gonna tell you what lawyers always say. What lawyers say: if you give any type of money, you're admitting to this.
Right, and I think that's why he didn't want to do the 25.
Okay, but you know what? The lawyer worked for you. I've been around this merry-go-round, and you need to do the right thing. God will always honor the man that honors him, and that means do the right thing. But we're gonna get into okay. So we have the letter. I want to play you a clip from a former pastor on staff. I will admit this. I've got no problem rightly dividing this. He sounds a little jaded if you watch the whole interview. He sounds like he's got an axe to grind. But he brings up something I think we need to talk about. I'm kind of laying this out for the people who ain't familiar with Robert Morris and what's going on at Gateway Church. We're going to lay this out. But I want y'all to know, and I want the audience to know, this man sounds like he's got a little axe to grind. If you watch the whole video, am I right? I mean, you watched the whole video. He got a little axe to grind. But I want you guys to watch this. I don't know how to say his last name correctly, but I know it's Steve LeBlanc, I believe is how you say his last name, but we're going to watch this.
It was around the 2005 when Cindy did approach Robert saying, I want help with therapy. Now, by the way, when she did that, Robert talked to me about it. And he said she came and she was trying to blackmail him for $2 million. That is, in fact, what he told me.
Okay. So I want to say this. So Cindy Clemenshire, the victim here, said that she wanted financial help from Robert Morris for her therapy.
I believe she asked for $50,000.
That's
I'm
what
misquoting Cindy. Cindy, if you listen to this, I'm very sorry, but that's just to my recollection, and I'm pretty certain. And they offered her $25,000,
right?
Because Gateway doesn't have hundreds of millions of dollars,
right?
But she had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. And to her credit, and honestly, to the credit of women who maybe will hear of this story, and pastors and wolves that will hear of this story, and maybe it will give them pause to not touch another daughter.
Yeah,
she refused it.
Wow.
She refused the $25,000.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was going to tell you this.
So to rewind that, in 2005, which by the way, I've got emails that people had sent out and exposed. This is real. 2005, she did ask for that. I don't know where the $2 million came in. According to Steve LeBlanc, he said that's what Robert Morris told him. She was trying to extort him for $2 million. But the fact is, she did ask for $50,000 for therapy that she was going to, and the fact is, they said we'll give you $25,000 if you sign an NDA. That is all factual. What are we doing here? I told you he sounded like he had a little axe grind. Did you see that? Not like Gateway doesn't have hundreds of millions. I was like, bro, come on, you sound a little bitter right there.
Well, and was he there in 2005?
That's what I'm saying. You should shut your mouth.
Yeah. What nobody's listening to you. He should be slapped too.
So he knew.
He didn't say nothing.
He knew that he didn't say nothing.
He's like, bad. I'm keeping my job.
Oh, so you're throwing shade at him?
Yeah,
too.
I'm not listening to him.
Yeah,
forget that dude.
He said he knew it. Talked to Robert Morris about
time out.
He didn't say anything.
Okay, we're gonna get to him in a second. You guys are ready to murder him? So fire him.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to him in a second. What I'm saying is, okay, help me to understand something. If she's coming to you and she's saying, I need money for therapy because I've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars because of what you did. You're Robert Morris. Why are you blinking at 50 grand?
Well, it's like what you said. If I give money, I'm admitting to guilt.
Okay, but here's the irony of all this. So you going to offer her less money and then ask her to sign the NDA? Why wouldn't you just say, I'll give you the 50, sign the NDA? Why are you trying to lowball her after everything you've done? See, I'm into cussing on the podcast. This is not good. I can already feel my blood boiling. It's been a long day. I'm feeling a little edgy. I probably really need to eat some beef right now or something.
Some what?
Some beef. But I'm getting real pissed. The woman you sexually abused, this little girl, not no young lady, liar, little girl, she asked for $50,000. You probably make that in 2 churches if you go guest speak. 2 churches, 3 churches max. You couldn't give her $50,000 for therapy? And you want to get up behind a pulpit and talk about generosity? But you was going to lowball her with 25 in an NDA? Man, you should. What?
Well,
bail me out.
Yeah. I think that's what a lot of people are struggling with is initially as you're hearing the reports and all kind of like the layers are being peeled back. I mean, he starts to look even worse and worse and worse.
And just when you think you can look no worse, what's going on? You look a lot worse.
Yeah, and then he's not denying it. Like, he's not coming out and saying, look, if somebody was trying to take everything from you,
because he took him to the cleaners.
But if somebody's trying to take everything from you, and there's an argument to be made, you're going to make the argument. You're going to stand up for yourself. I mean, think about it. He just lost everything, and for him to not say anything speaks volumes.
Okay, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No.
Okay, so even if she wanted the $2 million, what do you say?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm being real though.
Yeah,
I'm being real. Even if she wanted the $2 million, what do you say?
How I don't know, man.
I'm gonna tell
like
you
how depraved are you? How much of an egotistical maniac are you?
Okay, listen. If you're really repentive, and you really contrite over what you did.
Oh, now if you're that, then you give her what
you give her what she asked for. You say, "Hey, this is the least I can do. I don't have all $2 million right now, but I'd be more than willing to do installments because that's the least I could do for you." Absolutely.
I mean, he just couldn't do it. If he wanted to do what he wanted to do, he couldn't give her money like that.
Okay, so what you're trying to say, if he wanted to save his, then that's what he couldn't do.
Yeah, because it doesn't.
But why
matter.
are you looking to save your instead of doing the right thing?
Yeah, obviously he didn't care about that. Because even if she signs the NDA, if she comes out with it, you're still going to lose because she was a 12-year-old. Like, you're not going to court. You're not going to go to court. That's not going to hold up. You're going to jail. Like, no one's going to care. So even if you would have gave her the $2 million, she came out and said it.
Okay, now let's talk about Homeboy. You're right. If Homeboy was there in 2005 and he didn't do nothing to protect her either, Homeboy, you bear some burden of responsibility here. I agree with you guys.
And so he stands on his soapbox right here, and he's like, "And good for Cindy, and all the women." Man, what?
You weren't there for Cindy. Hey,
right.
If he was a pastor, he was supposed to report this.
You're right.
And guess what? You just report it. You don't find out if it meant this young lady. You didn't ask any other questions.
And did you quit that day? Did you quit or did you keep your job?
Hey, listen, I ain't defending this sucker. No, go ahead.
So if you knew that, where's your integrity at? Hey man, check us out. You're either going to tell everybody or I'm going to tell them for you. And if that costs me my job, then it costs me my job.
This is showing the lack of integrity. Just like I sent you guys that one post of a guy who pastors right across the street from Gateway Church trying to invite people from Gateway to his church. Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm like, dude, you trying to come up on another downfall. See, I'm telling you right now, there's no honor here. It's just this is revealing a lot of people. But I do want to say this.
I thought he was a little Suge Knight. Though.
Suge Knight, yes, I love it.
He's over here. If you don't want to, have somebody dancing in the video, dancing on stage, come to death row.
You went straight Suge Knight, huh? You don't want a pastor who touch little girls. You ain't looking. You didn't want that prosperity gospel. You come across the street. We preach the inherent word of God. That's what he said.
Yeah,
that's what he said. Oh my gosh! So he went Suge Knight. We're gonna label him the Suge Knight pastor. Although his name is like Emmett or something.
Darren.
Is it Darren or Emmett?
I don't know.
Darren Suge Knight Thompson right there, right? Anyway, okay. So a lot's been made about Robert's choice of words for saying young lady and how it was really a young girl, not a young lady. And what's interesting, somebody posted a clip of Robert knowing the difference in age. I want you guys to see this clip. Now that I told you young lady, young girl, I want you to hear Robert Morris in his own words on his son's podcast. Not in this context, but in the context of accountability and stuff. Watch this clip. Tell me what you think.
Does that relationship need to change into?
Yeah, it changes because 12 and under, according to the Bible, and according to even psychologists, child psychologists, 12 and under is a child. And now, of course, they like to say preteen, but 12 and under. 13 to 19, so anything that ends with a teen is an adolescent, and 20 and above is an adult. And that's basically the way it's defined secularly, but it comes from Scripture. I could give you the Scripture on all of those, okay? All right, so 12 and under, we're telling them what to do. 13 to 19, we're teaching them how to learn what to do. And then over 20, we're trusting them. So there's a telling, and then there's a teaching for them to learn how to make good decisions, and then there's a trusting. And so, like when you guys became adults, it was a trust.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same way that I trust my friend who's maybe my same age, I might say to him, hey, as a brother in Christ, I want to share something with you that I feel like you could be going down the wrong road. And so I would still do that, but it has to be different. It can't come across as Dad is telling me not to do this anymore, because I think then it can actually create a wedge between adult sons and daughters and parents.
That's fantastic. And I know there may be some parents.
So, I don't know.
Fantastic.
What, this is just my opinion, but I think he knew what 12-year-old was by his own words. What say you?
Yeah, he's a scumbag.
He knew she was. He said at 12 years old, you tell them what to do. Am I wrong? And the longer this goes out and he stays quiet and the more this evidence starts popping up, what does he look like?
Yeah, he just continues to look worse and worse as a predator.
After 7 days of all this stuff coming out, my mindset has changed. He a predator. You preyed on an innocent young child. And anybody else, and I don't know why people are afraid to say this, anywhere else, they would say you were grooming her. If you have that long of a sexual abuse on this poor innocent girl, that's grooming. And by the way, can I just ask something? Why did he stop?
Maybe
he got caught.
Oh.
She told a friend, and the friend told. He got caught. So let me ask you this: had he not gotten caught, how far would it have went? So are you upset that you did it, or are you upset you got caught? And what exactly are you admitting to? Listen, okay. I don't know who found this. It's been edited, it cut down to the clip, but it hasn't been altered. And I thought this was crazy. I had to watch it like 3 or 4 times because it just blew me away. And I just want to get your reactions on this clip.
Mind has logged everything you've ever done, everything you've ever said, and everything that's ever been said to you, and everything you've ever seen or experienced. Your mind has it. Now, you're thinking, where is it? Because I can't remember it. It's in your subconscious. Have you ever said, oh, what's her name? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's not on the tip of your tongue. It's an expression. It's in your subconscious. And it's there because it'll come to you a lot of times right before you go to sleep. Cindy, it just comes out.
Robert Morris is the founder and senior pastor at Gateway Church in Southlake. A woman has come forward.
Cindy Clemenshire, the accuser, she says that the abuse first happened on Christmas Day in 1982. She was just 12 years old. She says that abuse continued until she was 16 years old.
Okay, does anybody else find that eerie, strange? Out of all the names he could have picked, he says it's in your subconscious and it'll come to you. Did you find that eerie? What did you think about out of all the names?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. It's weird. That's the first thing that came to mind.
And he screamed it. You?
Yeah, I was thinking, especially in the context, like I could imagine him maybe, teaching about some other type of topic, but he's talking about like what's in your subconscious, something.
That's what I'm saying.
Something that it's stored somewhere, and then that's the name that he uses.
Out of all the names.
Because they could have clipped something from a different teaching had he used that name. But why to use that name in this context?
Okay, I'm going to ask it a different way. I'm sitting here thinking right now, how many Cindys do we know?
Wow.
I got one in mind.
I think we all know the same one.
Well, if we were in Odessa, Texas, or something like that, we might know some more Cindys.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike's most likely to know more Cindys.
Yeah. How many Marias do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, so, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it like
Josephina's. Mike don't know no Josephina's growing up.
Yeah.
that. My grandma's name. You win. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
My buddy's mom was named Cindy.
Okay, my bad. All right, my bad. Okay, I read too. I was doing too much. I'm guilty. I was doing too much.
He know a lot of Cindy.
Okay, I was doing too much. All right, my bad. My bust. Okay, bottom line is he was talking about subconscious. He was talking about all this, and then I just thought that was strange. So I've had this looming question, and you guys tell me. You know I could be a little drama sometimes. I've had this looming question, and I've tried to shake it, and I can't, and I don't know what's going on, but I just don't understand why other people haven't come out and supported, pastors, supported Cindy and her struggle and distanced themselves from Robert. I understand if he's your boy, you don't got to cut your boy off, but to get up and acknowledge, with the facts we now have, Robert Morris should have never been allowed back in the pulpit. He should have been handed over to the proper authorities and let the authorities do what the authorities need to do. Now, in the same breath saying we do believe he can be restored unto salvation. We do believe everybody has an opportunity to be reconciled unto God. But as far as being restored and reconciled, he is not restored to a pulpit. He lost out on that a long time ago. And people want to say, well, what if he wasn't saved yet? You harmed a kid. You're probably not fit for the pulpit. You could do some other things, but they weren't saved yet. Doesn't matter. You're not safe around kids. And the number one thing as a pastor, you gotta protect sheep. So I'm throwing that out there. I'm just saying I don't understand why more prominent pastors have not brought this up and really supported the victim, as well as distanced themselves from the actions of Robert Morris and really made a bold statement. Now's the time for courage and boldness. Now, so far, Daystar and James Robinson have come out. You know, James was one of the ones that restored him. And he's coming out saying Robert was not honest. But I want you to see this Daystar. We're gonna post so everybody can read it. Daystar posted this, and go ahead and pull that up. And I'm gonna read that for everybody. A statement from Daystar Television Network. By the way, I think he was their number one guy for Daystar. We are deeply grieved and saddened by the recent and very serious allegations against Pastor Robert Morris. I'm not calling him pastor. Involving the sexual abuse of a 12-year-old minor. In light of these events and a recently released statement by Gateway's elders, Daystar's leadership has made the decision to remove all of Robert Morris's programming from our please stop calling him pastor. Broadcasting schedule. Daystar unequivocally condemns the actions described in these allegations and remains committed to upholding biblical values as outlined in the Word of God. As we navigate through this challenging situation, we extend a heartfelt support and prayers to all those impacted. Look at Daystar. What do you guys think about that from Daystar? Respectable?
Yeah.
Yeah? You think that's respectable? What about you, Mike? You think that's respectable?
It doesn't... But it doesn't say anything about him, though, right? Or am I misreading it?
No, it just said his actions.
So it does say, it does put the actions
right.
in. So, okay, so they are putting him to the fire a little bit.
Yeah, but it's taking the biblical, I forgot how they said it. Biblical, the 6 is the word of God.
But you know, like sometimes people will say, hey, you know, it's almost like they won't mix the two. Because they're not sure if those things will pan out.
It's a lot of heat on him, so that's why we're going to move ourselves. But if it clears up,
you
could be back.
Right.
What you're saying, yeah.
Well, yeah. No, they drew a line. I was happy to see. I still don't understand why more than now. I want to get to this James Robinson clip, right? So he came out with a video statement and...
Wait, but why does that surprise you?
James Robinson?
No, the other pastors aren't saying stuff.
If a church ain't safe, where are you going to find safety? If sheep don't feel safe, how are they going to graze on the green grass of the Lord? If you can't trust the man behind the pulpit, who can you trust? We have a responsibility. And I don't know why these pastors will not come out and say, look, exactly what Daystar did. These are atrocious acts and violations. We do not condone any of them. We unequivocally stand against them. And we are committed to finding the truth, preaching the truth, standing on the truth, and what he did was irreprehensible. And therefore, we will not be publishing any of his stuff, broadcasting any of his stuff. He is not fit for ministry. He is, once again, he can be reconciled unto God, but he will not be reconciled unto a pulpit. And furthermore, just so everybody can feel safe, say it. And if any pastors get caught with this, they will not be pastors. Why is that so hard to say?
Do you feel like maybe it's because they're probably friends?
Okay, listen, I love you. You're my friend. Pull that crap here, you're gone. You're still my friend, but you're gone from here. You better go sell a car, sell some jewelry. You better go do something else. But you're not fit to be around kids. I love you. I love your family. Well, I'm Godfather to all your kids or your kids. That's it. If I did it, I expect y'all to fire me. I'd fire me. You're not fit for the pulpit. We've lost our standards. I don't care who it is. You can't touch kids. You didn't just touch, you groomed. You didn't just groom, you touched her on a Saturday and had the balls to get up on a Sunday and preach God's word? How did you compartmentalize that? Not just once, but over the period of 4 years, you would touch her, you would do the things you needed to do, and then you would get up on a Sunday and you want to talk about God's love? You want to talk about God's mercy? You want to talk about God's goodness? You want to tell other people to repent, but yet you are compartmentalizing? You are rationalizing? Nah, man, something wrong with you. You are off. And the only reason you stopped is because you got busted. 2 years wasn't long enough. And you know what? I ain't mad at the dad if he came after you. You mad at that dad if he came after him? In his house. That means you invited your boy over, who's another minister who you've been friends with from the jump. He's got his wife and the kid in the room next door.
That's crazy.
No, that's ballsy. And then you find out for 4 years, while you were asleep in your room and you thought you could trust him, he was doing perverted, nasty things with your daughter. How do you not go after him?
I think everything we say on here can be used against us. So I'm not saying nothing.
I'm just asking how you not go after him.
That's a man of God.
All right.
That's a man of God right there. Well, that's what I thought was incredible. Even the Cindy coming out and saying, we forgive him. Like, you look at what they're saying and you see, like, man, this is an incredible family that he did this to. That the fact that they kept serving God.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? All these things, you look at it, even makes Robert even worse because you see what God truly did in this family's life and what the power of God's grace. It's incredible.
So if that's the case, why are you fighting her on the $50,000?
It just makes you look worse.
Why are you fighting?
Yeah, because she didn't even put this out in public.
She didn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, everything is like stacked on her side. Like, you look at the people you did this to.
Okay, if God is a God of justice, where's the justice for Cindy? He's supposed to be up there as an ambassador for the Lord. Where's the justice?
It's starting to look a little bit like justice. He done lost everything.
Did he? He was already on the way out, Michael.
Well, you lost his name.
He lost his name a long time ago in the Lord's book.
I'm saying in the public eye.
Or does it matter? You know what concerns me? I'm gonna be real with you. All right, I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble for this. I know people who, anyway. Paul says that the works that you do unto the Lord, they're gonna be tried by fire. What do you think about that? For almost 30 years, he almost got away with it.
Yeah, so I think depending on how you look at it, maybe she is getting justice.
Oh,
I mean, he could have rode off into the sunset with a great name, big church, handed down to the next generation so that the generations after him could eat off of that same tree. They done lost everything. then you figure he was probably going to retire off all of his book money. He was probably going to retire.
Let's be honest, y'all. I don't think he needs any more money. I don't think that brother hurting. You think that brother hurting? That brother living that good life.
Yeah, but he's probably expecting some more money coming.
You don't think they gave him? Hey, how about this question for Gateway Church? Did he get a severance?
Ooh.
I mean, this will be up to him not to take it.
Okay,
Wait, what?
time.
No, I mean legally you got to give it to him unless you're taking him to court or fighting him. I'm saying that's not simply I ain't giving it to you.
Okay, I just want to know, Gateway Church, did he get a severance and how much did he get? Let's be honest to the people. This is a question people want to know. Let's be honest. Power to the people. We're all about people. Let's go. And did he take that severance?
Yeah, because they didn't fire him.
How about you put that? Well, he resigned, so you don't got to give him a severance. He resigned.
Yeah, I mean it's still in your I don't know what his contract is or what he'll set up for. But you might be right. Since he left, you may not have to give him anything.
Okay, but did you? I want to know. I think the people want to know. We got questions. Let's get answers. Okay, I want you to watch this James Robertson. Hey, he distanced himself. This is his like spiritual father right here. James Robertson. He's the one that was part of the restoration process. Are you guys ready? Watch this clip.
Hello, I'm James Robinson, and this is my wife, Betty. I'm the founder of Life Outreach International and Life Today Television. Last week, reports surfaced that Pastor Robert Morris Gateway Church had engaged in sexual assault of a child. Since then, people have been asking questions about my relationship with Robert. I'd like to set the record straight because some people are claiming that I was present when Robert met with the victim's family in 1987 and that I knew the girl's age when these events took place. This is false. It is not so. It is in fact a lie. The victim herself corrected the record after the initial news report came out, letting it be known that I in fact wasn't there. And I have a statement here in my hand from her attorney, Cindy's attorney, attesting to the fact that I was not present at any of the meetings between Robert and the victim's family. In fact, I did not become aware of the girl's age until the news broke last week. I was stunned. I was aware that Robert had moral failure in his past, but I had no idea it was a crime involving a child. This is totally unacceptable. The way Robert handled it was absolutely incorrect. It was wrong. Abuse of a child should not be tolerated. I would do anything to help heal Cindy and her family. Betty and I are praying for everyone who's been hurt by these terrible events.
And I agree with you, James. Our hearts are broken. What words are adequate to say anything comforting in a situation like this, except we pray for all of those involved. Join with us, I hope you will, seriously, and let's pray and ask God to heal the hurt and the pain that's been there for so long. God bless you.
Okay, we even got the letter from the lawyer stating everything that James Robinson just said was accurate and correct. I have a question. How are you supposed to say that you are contrite, you are repentive, if the person who is restoring you, you're not honest with?
Yeah, you're still trying to save yourself.
I've heard enough of his sermons that he references like not being, faithful to his wife. He references he's referenced being his immoral past, which makes it seem kind of like even crazier, at least as I was processing it, that you would bring it up almost like, I don't know, almost like to try to make it seem like, yeah, I'm not perfect. I'm not this. He tries to make himself look better, I think, by saying that he's had like immoral failings in the past and that God has changed him. only to come to find that like that story involved a kid. Like that's crazy. I don't know. He's just a liar. Like
he lied. James, you heard it just from James Robison right there, with the letter proving it. He lied.
So what's the timeline on the James Robison thing? Like,
because he came in to restore Robert.
The 2 years later.
During that time.
Okay, but
that 2 year he was.
But
he
nobody who knows the truth tells him what happened.
Well, did
like all those other people like die or what?
No, they're saying that Pastor Shady Grove knew the truth. Because watch this. Okay, let's get to that. Okay, so Tom Lane.
But I want to say this. I was talking to my wife about this and talking about the elders and saying, are they off the hook? And she's saying they're not off the hook.
They're not off the hook.
He's not off the. Her argument is he's not off the hook. If someone comes to you and says, I was groping a young lady, and you stop there, that's on you. Like, you cannot stop
hold on.
So
I got to track with you. So you're saying
someone comes to
James
Pastor Anthony,
Robinson should have asked more questions. That's what you're saying.
Someone comes to Pastor Anthony and says, hey, I touch a young lady. And you're saying, okay, we'll work on it. 2 years off, we'll restore you. That's on Pastor Anthony because
I didn't ask more
you
questions.
got to ask more. What does that mean?
Yeah, he's right.
And if you're supposed to be over this, like, how do you stop there? Every pastor knows that you're a Monday reporter. What does that mean? It's your responsibility to make sure you're taking care of people, and you can't stop.
That's 100.
As simply as asking, "Oh yes, a young lady. All right, let's move forward."
That's why I don't disagree, because that's why when he says that, I'm like, okay, but you have nobody else that you can ask more about this. It's like
you're right.
What happened to all those other people who did know the truth? What happened to? Is it because they maybe moved away and you're in a different city and this is the early 90s, late 80s and technology isn't what it is today and you may not be able to get a hold of people? I don't know. Maybe that part of Oklahoma doesn't have technology, can't get a hold of them through telephone. I'm just trying to figure out, like, how is it that you couldn't have find out everything, or you just took the guy's word for it?
I think you took the guy's word for it. You're right. I'm going to go on the record. You're right. It was up to. I respect James for coming out and doing this because he didn't have to. He's distancing
and
himself.
I believe him.
He's distancing himself. But you're right. Any shepherd that hear anything like that, you need to ask more questions.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter what the age is. I mean, if this girl was 22 and he's 22 and you sexually abuse another 22-year-old, there's still an issue.
You're right.
There's still a problem. It doesn't matter. Even the age doesn't matter. You can't sexually abuse someone and be like, okay, we can restore you.
No, he's right. He's right. No, he's right. And you're right. Elders should have asked more questions. Now, speaking of elders, Tom Lane, who was an elder, his son is currently an elder. He came out and he had made a statement that he wasn't aware of it. But lo and behold, here pops up an email. Hey, this girl Cindy kept receipts. She kept receipts. I'm going to show you this email. So let's play this. Let's show this email. So here's the email. Dear Cindy, look at this. Look at that date. It says subject Robert Morris, April 2005. Dear Cindy, from Tom Lane, Robert and Debbie, along with the elders of Gateway Church. Stop right there. What's he implying? He's implying that every elder on 2005 knew this. Of which I am part of, desire to see you find help and healing. Your email came to me because it was sent to the general email address for Robert and not his personal email. I contacted you for two reasons. First, I want to let you know Robert has been completely open with the elders of Gateway Church. That's a lie. And his past is specifically about his indiscretion with you. That's a lie. Throughout the years, Robert has been an open and accountable, doing what he could find healing and restoration in his life. At that time of indiscretion, Robert submitted to a 2-year process that included stepping out of vocational ministry. By the way, there's evidence coming out right now he didn't really step out. He was still speaking at other churches. People are finding old newspapers in Mississippi, Louisiana, places where he went minister. So I'm betting that because I don't know how real that is. He undertook other steps as he was directed by, look at this, by the elders of Shady Grove Church.
Shady.
He continues to walk in a humble attitude of accountability. That just gets me. Second, I wanted to let you know that Robert and Debbie, along with the elders of Gateway Church, want you also to find healing, as he has previously stated on several. Look at this. As he previously stated on several occasions, Robert deeply regrets what took place and has repented to God and you along with your parents and sister, and to the elders of Shady Grove Church and Gateway Church. Over the 20 plus years since the indiscretion, both he and Debbie have responded to you with caring concern, but their responses apparently have not brought you the healing you seek. Okay, look at this again.
Dang.
Debbie and him have responded to you. So this has been an ongoing dialogue. Read between the lines here. We want you to, next clip. Get help finding, look at this crap, the blessed life that Robert writes about in his book and you refer to in your email. What other email is not one of perfection, but one of submission and obedience to God? Something that he's made diligent effort to walk in, both in failure and success for more than 20 years. Robert and Debbie have done what they can to help you heal. Our church believes in healing, forgiveness, and restoration of individuals. We would like to help you find the healing for your life. In sum, I'm responding to your email, hoping to help you find the healing you so desperately seek. Please let me know if Gateway Church and elders can help you find healing in any way. Tom Lane. What?
So you had said that he said he didn't know about this or something?
In his first email to Gateway Church, I have that too. He says, I didn't know what was going on.
So, but in this email,
he's clearly aware. He says it.
But is he aware of the ages?
Nope. That's what he's saying. But she's obviously told him she's never strayed from her story. Have you guys heard her story? Have you heard a story from her? It's on some platforms, but I want you to hear Cindy's story from Cindy's own mouth. I want to show it to you guys. Here it is. Let's play that.
It's too much for a child.
Cindy Clemishire has a story.
There is a lot of guilt and a lot of shame that comes with that.
A memory that took time for her to understand.
18 years to discover and really embrace what he did to me.
Clemishire's family was close with Robert Morris, who founded Gateway Church near Dallas.
Robert and Debbie were like part of our family.
She says Morris traveled as a pastor to different communities.
Christmas night, 1982.
And visited her Hominy home in Osage County.
That's when he started sexually abusing me.
She was 12 years old.
He told me that night, I can never tell anyone because it will ruin everything.
Clemishire sought restitution in 2005.
A lot of anger at that time.
Morris responded in an email saying, "My attorney advises that if I pay you any money under a threat of exposure, you could be criminally prosecuted."
I learned to lie and manipulate.
A 2014 sermon reveals Morris.
I didn't want to be rejected.
Sharing a personal story of what he called immorality with women.
I looked for girls that did not have a good relationship with their father.
I was not deprived from the love of a father. I was an innocent child.
Clemishire shared in detail the 4.5 years she said Morris abused her with the religious watchdog blog, The Wartburg Watch.
Here we are.
4 days later, Morris resigned.
For me, it's about, let's find out who all knew.
According to CBS News, Gateway elders said they will launch an investigation to have a complete understanding of the events from 1982 to 1987.
It's very tough. It's still tough.
Clemishire moves on.
Yes.
The best way she can.
Well, thankfully, my faith has stayed strong.
She didn't do it by herself.
I've had a great family my whole life.
Stories can heal.
I am proud.
And remind.
I hope and pray that any victim that hears this can realize it wasn't their fault.
Clemishire believes more testimonies exist.
Come forward.
And she'll be there to listen.
You won't be alone.
What's your reaction? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy no one listened to her. To see, okay, she did put it out there, which I don't blame her for doing. But see no one listened to her, and then to see her faith and her family's faith and how they didn't let that deter them from God and how she just wants the truth exposed. And
didn't that hurt your heart to hear her tell that story?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. Yeah, it's a man that's supposed to be trusted. I mean, in that he uses his power to say, this you'll ruin everything if you talk. And her having that fear of like, man, this is a guy my dad respects, so I can't mess this up.
You lose respect, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, every ounce of, I don't know. Is it? You wonder why people turn away from church. This guy is supposed to be a respected man of God, especially now after all these years, right? He's got the biggest, or not one of the biggest churches in the United States, and it's built on this.
So you asked about Tom Lane. He had sent out an email to Gateway family. A statement from Tom Lane regarding the Robert Morris and Gateway Church, right? I believe this was like Thursday. It was Wednesday or Thursday. I am deeply saddened that... And then somebody posted that email. They found that email in 2005. Listen to this. I'm deeply saddened by the pain Cindy Clemenshire has endured and the recent revelations regarding Pastor Robert Morris. My deepest sympathies go to Cindy. I pray her suffering is fully recognized and validated. I don't like when people talk like that. I really don't. I feel like that's patronizing. Do you really feel that way, Tom? Tom, do you really feel that way? You really hope and pray she's recognized and validated? Then what happened in 2005? Talk to me. Why do you feel that way now? Because of the smoke that came your way? Am I too cynical? Am I too cynical? Like am I being too judgmental? Or am I just keeping it 100 right now? Why now, Tom? I'm pissed, aren't I? You can tell. Until Cindy's statement on June 14th, I did not fully understand, because you didn't want to understand, sucker. Man, here I go. I just need. You might need to read this, because if I keep reading, I'm gonna throw my phone. I can't throw my phone. Fully understand the severity and specifics of the sexual abuse she experienced, nor did I know she was 12 years old when the abuse began. I believe Robert's testimony, which included an admission of infidelity, was with a young, quote, lady. Like many others, I was under the impression that the matters of infidelity, widely accepted as truth, had been fully addressed by the elders of Shady Grove. Will anybody take responsibility? Please, somebody take responsibility. As it was also described to me, the agreed upon process between Robert Morris and the elders of Shady Grove Church, along with Cindy's parents, included a 2-year restoration period during which she stepped out of ministry and received professional counsel. My understanding was the process had been closely managed by the elders of Shady Grove Church, and it was complete. When Cindy came forward in 2005, I believed, based on the knowledge I had at the time, that the necessary actions had been taken and the situation had been appropriately resolved, as it concerned a pastor involved in a moral failure. Regrettably, I have never met Cindy in person, and until the past Friday, I've never fully grasped the extent of the abuse that she endured on the fact that Cindy was a child, not a young lady at the time. It was always understood that Robert Morris had a consensual extramarital affair, not the sexual abuse of a 12-year-old child. It is heartbreaking to know Cindy has suffered this prolonged pain. I pray that she finds the healing she has longed for. Given the facts that have now emerged, it is evident that more could have been done to support and protect Cindy, and for that I am deeply sorry. The process of healing varies for each person who has been abused, and this is Cindy's time to come forward. I'll be praying for Cindy and her family so she can continue to heal and be supported in her journey to recovery. I'm going back to what you said. You didn't ask enough questions.
Yeah, because now they're making it seem like, I don't know. It's too many details. Too many people talking. But that he just said, I cheated on my wife. That's
the story changing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he talked about that in multiple messages, about his immoral past. My immoral past. I had an immoral past. So is there a chance that in 2005 this hits Todd Lane? Tom Lane's desk, and he says, "Hey, what's up with this?" And Robert, and it goes, "Yeah, me and my wife, we already dealt with this. This is the young lady that I had an immoral relationship with." And then Tom Lane sends that email back.
Or is he covering for his boy? I don't know, but you know what I do think. People are owed the truth. Man, I was trying to count how many times I was out to Gateway Church. How many books of Robert Morris's I sold. How many things I supported. So I have a question. And then I'm going to get to the last couple things here. I have a question. Should he have ever been allowed back in the pulpit? Ever?
Based upon the actual truth, no. The actual facts, no.
Period.
Yeah, but I mean, it sounds like if he's telling people I cheated on my wife, she knows about it.
Hey, what is she saying?
I try not to comment on people's wives, and I ain't got nothing good to say, so I'm gonna do myself a favor and just not say anything.
What does she know?
Everything.
She knows all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because it sounded like from when he got initially in trouble, there's an initial group of people who know everything,
and she one of them.
Yeah, so obviously the girl's family has to know, right? He has Robert and his wife probably know.
And then whatever
Shady Grove elders.
Whatever
Here we go again. Shady.
Yeah, whatever group of that elders that was.
So then, you think they knew?
That's what he said. The dad went to the elders. That's what she said.
Gotcha.
That's shady elders,
right? So
there.
that's why I was like, so then Robeson comes in and he's part of like the restoration,
right? But he's not a part of that church. But yeah.
But how does he not hear the initial?
So you're saying he was part of the Shady Grove? See, there's so much stuff.
I don't think he was, but I think he was
I guess what I'm saying is I think a lot of people know.
Oh, they just ain't saying it.
And I think that
that boy can preach.
They're
that's what they have said. Yeah.
They're complicit.
Hey, I'll tell you right now. That was part of the
or
problem,
they're just that stupid and they never asked. And they really didn't care. And young lady to them was semantics because of their hillbilliness or whatever down south. That's
you're right. I'll tell you this much: they did see a goose who can lay a golden egg, and golden eggs he did lay. And this is what happens when you put charisma over character. You should have asked more questions. I've had my own beef with Rick Warren, but to answer our question, no, he should have never been in the pulpit. Period. Point blank. I've had my own beef with Rick Warren, going back to his, if you love Jesus, you'd get vaccinated. You know that Rick Warren. Jesus would have got vaccinated, Rick Warren. You know that Rick Warren. I've had my beef with him. Kudos to Rick Warren for coming out and making a strong, bold statement.
I give him a B.
Rick didn't hey.
I give him a B.
Who else has done it?
B plus.
Who else has done it?
I don't know. I didn't like how he threw in the thing at the end.
Okay, but who else has done it is all I'm saying.
That's why I give him a good B.
Okay, good B. Hey, I barely got
other people come out, I'd have given him a C.
Okay, let's go. Let's show this what Rick had to say about this. He even has a picture of your guys' millstone right there. You see that? You guys are talking about, man, that's your shirt right there. That's that millstone shirt.
Yeah. Lace him up.
Here we go. I'm angry and disgusted. It says, to hear Robert Morris sexual abuse of a child and heartbroken for Cindy Clemenshire. To sexually use a 12-year-old child. Look at that. To sexually use a 12-year-old child, they continue for years, is not merely an inappropriate relationship. Look, he uses his own words, Robert's words. It's a crime. Sexual child abuse is an evil punishable by law. One can't just confess when caught and move on with no consequences. Look at this. For the integrity of Christ's body, God insists, expel the wicked person out of your church. Let's go, Rick. 1 Corinthians 5:13. Perpetrators are to be quickly fired, not allowed to resign. Child abuse still enrages Jesus. If anyone offends these little ones, it would be better for him to have a millstone hung around his neck and drowned in the sea. Until the church realizes the soul-destroying trauma of sexual abuse, the pattern will continue. Kay still remembers the horror of being molested in a church as a little girl. Proverbs 31:8. Kay's his wife.
Right. That's the part where I was like, why?
He's just saying, listen, my wife, who I've been married to for I think 35 years, it's been a long time for them.
I said give him a solid B plus on the
But he's just saying, listen, this is how deep that trauma goes. That's all. He was just making. In my book, he could say, I liked it. He pulled no punches.
Statement.
I didn't think that he shouldn't have said it. Just the fact that he kind of throws that in at the end is just like.
But I'm gonna tell you this: he has a lot of followers. He's well respected globally.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Rick Warren.
Well, and that's why I kept thinking about is the Southern Baptist Convention that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, that them just taking a stance and saying, I don't care. What we lose is strong statement just to take as a church in general to say this is our morals. If we lose money, if we lose churches, whatever it may be, whether we disagree with the theology of it, but this is as for churches simply to take a stand now. I think is a bold thing that we got to see more of on anything, and no matter what it loses, obviously it's a good chance like they see Robert Morris like, man, this guy can preach.
Okay, they
didn't take that moral stance. Like I don't care what the consequences are. This is the stance that we're taking. Period.
You're right. I it's my own frustration. I don't understand why more prominent pastors can do what he did and really give a voice to those who have been hurt in the church sexually like that and really do them justice. It just
I think he's friends with them.
I don't care. You got to put you got to
I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm trying to think of like why would you not come out? I mean, especially if relationally you know each other. That's your boy.
Okay. We've talked enough about this. I have some questions. And I want to close with your thoughts on this. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on what it means to be a good pastor. Like, give me a characteristic. Give me an attribute of what it means. Not a perfect pastor. We're going to make mistakes. But after hearing all this and hearing how other people failed, a lot of people failed here. They failed her. Give me a characteristic or an attribute. And then I'm going to close with the word to pastors. Okay? So, Bishop, we're going to start with you. What's a character or an attribute that is a good marking of a good pastor? What should a pastor have? What should he be representing?
I know at least a big thing for me that I think every pastor has to have is you get joy out of seeing other people do well. You get joy out of seeing a person, be sober for 2 years. You get joy at seeing a marriage getting restored. Like you get joy, like, someone's, they have a good relationship with their kids again. Like those things, like they're not necessarily like super tangible. Hey, we had, you have, 500 people show up to church this Sunday, but it's like, no, that individual, like seeing those little things. Someone finally gets a job for the first time, or they decide to go back to work and get off, getting money from the government. Those little wins. Someone to buy their first house, someone to buy their first car. Like those little wins, you have to. If as a pastor, you should be enjoying those things. And I think when you're able to enjoy those things with the people, you're gonna preach differently. The way you operate your church is gonna be different. The way you live your life is gonna be different because you're willing to give yourself to see people do well in their everyday life.
I like that. That was good. What about you? Togan? What you got for us?
I don't know. Maybe we'll go hills and valleys here.
Okay.
Celebrate people and be able to be on the mountaintop when they, get to have those victories, but then also be in the valley with them as well.
Oh, come on. That's good too. Yeah.
And so when they lose the loved one and they're going through cancer and they've been disappointed by a past relationship, or they start to deal with their trauma and everything that gets brought up with dealing with their trauma and just sitting with them and being able to cry with them and being able to give guidance or just give an ear or just, like I said, don't say nothing and just be with people.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that is a sign of a good pastor. And I think, if you don't know any of the hills or the valleys of your people, then you're completely disconnected. And I think when you become disconnected is when you start to get in trouble like this.
Yeah.
Because you can sit behind a pulpit after doing all these things and, not blink twice.
Both of you, thank you so much. That was great. That was good stuff. Hills and valleys, I like that. I want to talk to the pastors. Stop chasing platforms. Start chasing God's presence. A lot of pastors have ambition to be the next big thing, to build this glorious church. I see pastors that are unapproachable to their sheep. They go chasing different speaking opportunities, speaking engagements, book endorsements. Bigger is better. How do we grow this? How do we grow that? Pastor, I'm going to give you a piece of advice. Go smell like sheep. Go hang out with your sheep. Go check in on your sheep. Protect your sheep. Feed your sheep. Care about your sheep. Care about the one that strays. Care about the one that gives you a hard time. Care about the one that's hard to work with. Go smell like sheep. Stop trying to chase the newest drip. Stop trying to make a quotable. Stop trying to get a clip and a reel and all this stuff. And go hang out with your sheep. Just spend the day with your sheep. Go be real with them. Go see what they're going through. Go involve yourself in their lives. See what they go through. See their struggles. Be with them in the hills. Be with them in the valleys. Keep them away from predators. Go be with your sheep. Go love on your sheep. Even the hard to deal with sheep. Go care for them. Care for them. Don't just think it's all about a Sunday and about preaching this knockout home run message. Let your life be the message. I'm not saying don't prepare, but don't put all your eggs in that basket. Stop worried about the sermon you're going to preach and be concerned about the sheep you're going to pastor. In the totality of what it means to pastor. To not just feed them, but to lead them. Not just lead them, but to protect them. When's the last time you spent time with the sheep? Now, I'm not talking about that sheep with the fat wool, a.k.a. the fat money, the wallets. I'm talking about that sheep who can really do nothing for you. When's the last time you spent time with them just to get to know them, how they're doing, how their family's doing? To the shepherds, I just ask, can we get back to just taking care of the sheep? Because, in the end of the day, they're God's sheep, and that's what he would do. This has been the Not Offended Podcast. Peace and we're out.